2 islands. Well, technically 3 islands. Sorry, Tobago. 2 firsts. 2 fierce women who shattered glass ceilings in different corners of the Caribbean. But while one rose from cocoa fields, the other came from colonial halls. One marched barefoot through rural soil. The other strode confidently from the city, blazer crisp, voice booming. This is the story of Kamla Persad-Bissessar and Mia Amor Mottley. A tale of Indo versus Afro, tradition versus modernity, rural roots versus urban power, and who is better suited to lead the Caribbean forward. But before we talk about Kamla Persad-Bissessar, or Mia Amor Mottley, before we dive into Trinidad versus Barbados, Indian roots versus African pride, lawyer versus Queen's scholar, Eugenia laid the foundation, Portia cracked the walls, and now Kamla and Mia have the keys to the house. But what have they done with it? Stick around, we're diving deep. If you're feeling this deep dive into Caribbean greatness, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more bold breakdowns like this, and drop a comment. Who you backing? Kamla or Mia? And do me a favor, send this to your mom, your sis, your auntie, even your grandma. Because Caribbean women been running things, it's time we tell the full story. Mia Mottley was born on October 1st, 1965, in the capital city of Bridgetown, Barbados. She comes from an upper-class, political family. Her grandfather, Ernest Mottley, was the first mayor of Bridgetown. Her father, Elliot Dayton Mottley, was a Queen's Counsel and served as a judge on the Court of Appeal of Belize. She was raised among lawyers, elites, and legacy, the very definition of old-school Barbadian establishment. Mia grew up a city girl, polished, outspoken, and always a leader in the room. Her environment shaped her into a liberal thinker, Western-educated, progressive, and globally attuned. Her political destiny seemed inevitable. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, on the other hand, was born on April 22nd, 1952, in Siparia, Trinidad, deep in the rural, Hindu Indo-Caribbean heartland of southern Trinidad. Her life couldn't have been more different from Mia's. Kamla's roots go far beyond Trinidad, straight back to India. Her family were descendants of Indian indentured laborers who arrived in the 1880s. Her paternal grandparents, Sumitra Persad, née Gopal Singh, and Karanji Persad, were rural working-class Hindus in Penal. Her maternal grandparents, Rukmin and Ramprit, were cocoa and sugarcane field laborers. Sumitra, Kamla's paternal grandmother, was a founding member of the Sarasvati Prakash Mandar and ran a women's Hindu singing and prayer group. Her maternal great-grandmother, Samaria, was a widow who became the sole breadwinner. These were women of struggle, faith, and survival. Kamla often credits her mother, grandmothers, and great-grandmother as the feminists who inspired her, long before the word became popular. Her family lineage includes Pandit Ram Lakhan Mishra from Balupur, Bihar, and Samaria from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Kamla even visited her ancestral village in India during a state visit in 2012. Kamla was born into a Brahmin Hindu family, steeped in tradition, religious values, and caste-based social structures. But while Kamla's family ties stretch across oceans to India, Mia's ancestry, like that of most Bajans, goes back to West Africa through the brutal legacy of slavery. Unlike Kamla, there are no direct links to a language, tribe, or ancestral village, just fragments and fading surnames passed down through plantation records. That's the reality for most Caribbean people of African descent. Our roots were severed. We didn't migrate, we were shipped. No WhatsApp cousin groups in Ghana. No family pundits in Delhi. As Bajans would say, we know we African, but which part? You got a clue? And yet, that's also Mia's strength. She's 100% Bajan, born, bred, and battle-tested in Barbados. Her story begins and ends with the rock she serves. While Kamla had to merge 2 worlds, Trinidadian and Indian, Mia embodies one. But let's not downplay this. Both women grew up hearing they were other. Kamla, a Hindu Indo-Trini girl in a space where Afro-Caribbean Christian norms dominated. Mia, a bold black girl in elite political circles where even her own success would raise eyebrows. Mia was educated at Queen's College, then went on to the London School of Economics, one of the world's top institutions. She came back home confident, cosmopolitan, and lawyered up. She entered politics early. At just 26, she was elected to the Barbadian Parliament. Her eloquence and command of policy quickly made her Minister of Education, Attorney General, and eventually Prime Minister. Kamla attended Yale High School, then studied in Jamaica and the UK, completing her law degree at the University of the West Indies and Hugh Whitting Law School. Like Mia, she became a lawyer, but the path was harder. Less privilege, more barriers. She entered Parliament in 1995 under the UNC, slowly climbing the ranks before becoming Attorney General, Minister of Education, and then in 2010, the first female Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Mia is famously private. She has never been married and has no children. In Barbados and across the region, there's been public speculation about her sexuality. What's undeniable is that she's married to the job, and many admire her laser focus on leadership. In a Caribbean culture where family is everything, your biggest supporters, your closest critics, your personal brand ambassadors, this can be a tricky position. People often wonder, if you don't have someone to vouch for you intimately, like a spouse or kids, then what's really going on? It's that unspoken question that can quietly haunt even the most powerful. In the Caribbean, your family often is your reputation. Having no family reps leaves Mia vulnerable to whispers and speculation. Some even say it's her biggest flaw, because leadership here isn't just about policies or speeches. It's about trust, loyalty, and that tight-knit personal network. Without it, a leader's foundation can feel shaky to many. Kamla, on the other hand, stands on solid family ground. She's married to Dr. Gregory Bissessar and has one son, Christian, often referred to as Chris, who gave her a grandson, Cristiano. Yep, the names are tight-knit and generational. The kind of family where even the syllables don't stray too far. Kamla openly embraces faith and family. Her Hindu upbringing and traditional values aren't just something she talks about. They shine through every part of her public life. Whether it's Diwali celebrations or puja ceremonies, she's there front and center, sari on, palms pressed, elders blessed. You'll always see Kamla drawing strength from her religious community, extended family, and childhood roots in rural Siparia. It's a support system that doesn't just show up for election season. It's stitched into who she is. That visibility, being seen as a wife, mother, grandmother, and devotee, grounds her politically and personally. It reassures traditional voters and adds a softer side to her iron fist in a glove leadership. Now, let's be real here. You ever seen Kamla in a press conference when somebody rubs her the wrong way? I'd hate to be her husband and disagree with her over dinner. That look she gives? That pause? That calm before the storm tone? Dr. Bissessar must be built different, because most traditional men love to lead. But Kamla does not play second. She's the boss, and maybe that's part of why Caribbean society still seems unsure about powerful women in charge. We celebrate them, but cautiously. The region has only had a handful of female prime ministers, and even fewer who lasted. You'll notice something funny, though. Every one of them who was married kept their own name. Portia Simpson Miller from Jamaica hyphenated it, but Simpson came first. You could almost hear her saying, "Yes, me married, but me name's still Dep on top." Kamla, same deal. Bissessar is there, but make no mistake, it's Kamla running things. And not one soul calls her Mrs. Bissessar. It's Madam Kamla or nothing. It's a regional trend. Alpha women in Caribbean politics? They might take your heart, but they ain't taking your last name. And it raises a deeper question. Is the Caribbean still warming up to the idea of women who don't need permission to lead? On sensitive issues like abortion, Kamla once said, "It is not dependent on my views, but a matter for the people of Trinidad and Tobago." A classic politician's answer, but also a smart one, given how deeply divided the Caribbean can be on moral and cultural topics. Mia hasn't spoken as directly on the issue, but her progressive stance on LGBTQ+ rights suggests she leans more liberal. Still, both women walk a tightrope between modern leadership and deeply rooted cultural norms. And whether you're pro-life, pro-choice, or just pro-kitchen table politics, the debate is alive and well across the islands. Mia rose to power through an established political party, the Barbados Labour Party, and even in a system with less racial polarization, she faced opposition. Yet, compared to Kamla, she's had a smoother ascent. Her policies are progressive, her speech is bold, and she's considered a global climate change leader, especially at UN summits. Kamla, on the other hand, had to claw her way up in a politically and racially divided Trinidad. She was often dismissed as too soft or too Indian to lead a multiracial nation. Despite that, she became the first woman to break through Trinidad's male-dominated political class. But her tenure was rocked by allegations of corruption, controversial appointments, and internal party rifts. Many support Kamla solely because she's Indo-Trinidadian. With Indo-Trinidadians being the largest ethnic group in the country, her base is strong, but sometimes dangerously ethnic bloc dependent. That kind of loyalty helped her rise, but it also led to polarization. Mia didn't have the racial voting bloc advantage. She had to earn every vote through policy, class, and charisma. Kamla embodies traditionalism, a rural, family-first, culturally rich leader. Her upbringing in a Hindu Brahmin caste system gave her a strong work ethic, but also framed her worldviews within conservative structures. Though she made history, many criticize her for pandering to ethnic and religious lines. Even the caste system, while not officially recognized in Trinidad, still informs some of the cultural hierarchies Indo-Trinidadians maintain. It's ironic too, since Mahatma Gandhi, revered in Indian circles, held well-documented racist and casteist views, a historical contradiction Kamla has never publicly addressed. Mia, meanwhile, represents modern Caribbean leadership, unapologetically Black, urban, globally respected, and progressive. She governs like a CEO, makes bold decisions, and doesn't shy away from hard truths. She didn't have to battle the same religious or racial shackles. But some argue she's too elite, out of touch with grassroots needs, and that her bold reforms can be blunt or cold. So on one hand, you've got Kamla, who might pray with you, hug your grandma, and know every coconut vendor by name. And on the other, you've got Mia, who might fly to the UN, close 30 failing schools, and quote Marcus Garvey in one speech. Two queens, one Caribbean, and a whole lot of debates at Sunday lunch. Kamla Persad-Bissessar became the first female PM of TNT. She made history. She inspired Indo-Caribbean girls across the region. But her legacy is mixed, part trailblazer, part controversial politician. Mia Mottley became the first female PM of Barbados, and more than that, the first to remove the British monarchy and make Barbados a republic. She's now a global voice on climate justice, even being named on Time magazine's 100 most influential. So who's more qualified to lead the Caribbean? It depends what the Caribbean needs. Want a traditionalist, rooted in ancestral values, maternal strength, and grassroots identity? You get Kamla. Want a visionary, ready to speak for the region on the world stage with thunder and clarity? That's Mia. Kamla is the daughter of indentureship. Mia is the heir of empire. Kamla is the rural Brahmin girl. Mia is the urban elite. Kamla leads from faith and roots. Mia leads with strategy and boldness. Both are pioneers. Both made history. But only one may define the region's future. A Black woman or an Indian woman. Any Douglas in the house. Which Caribbean queen do you think best represents us more? Drop your vote in the comments, Team Mia or Team Kamla. Like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into Caribbean greatness. Thanks for watching.